All right, we're going to pick up where we left off in class today, and that was with the Reign of Terror during the French Revolution. This is from chapter 21. In 1794, in July, the conservatives in the National Convention voted for the arrest and the execution of Maximilien Robespierre, and so the Reign of Terror was brought to an end. Don't forget, the Reign of Terror was this time period from about 1793 to 1794 in France, where all supporters of the monarch, anyone who was opposed to the revolution, was rounded up and executed by the leaders of the Reign of Terror, and the guillotine became the device that was the symbol of the Reign of Terror. After Robespierre's execution, the convention undid a lot of the radical reforms that were created. They created a new conservative constitution, and they created a new executive authority called the Directory. In 1797, the Directory, this was a man that was leading France, this Directory lost his election for the office of Directory, but he refused to give up his office. And this is going to pave the way for power to be taken by force in France, and that's exactly what Napoleon's going to do in 1799. Napoleon started a new government called popular authoritarianism. While Americans desired voting as their means of political expression, France, because of the Reign of Terror, was satisfied with commoners being more involved in the government. Napoleon does a lot in France. He provides internal stability, protection of personal property, protection of people's personal rights. He was very popular among poor people. In 1804, he declared himself Emperor of France. He wasn't popular with everybody. He denied a lot of rights to women, but he did bring a lot of stability to what was a very unstable France at the time. The stability of the Napoleonic system really depended on the success of the military. If the military wasn't very successful, then people viewed France as not doing very well. There wasn't a single European state that could defeat France. He upset Spain and Portugal. He even occupied the Iberian Peninsula. In 1812, he attacks Russia. This is going to end in disaster, and it's going to end up resulting in an alliance with Russia, Austria, Prussia, and England, who are going to defeat Napoleon in the year 1814. There's a time period that we need to discuss called the Age of Reason. Some key individuals that are very noteworthy. Johann Sebastian Bach. He was a composer of the Baroque style, and this was a style in the 1600s that was very popular, very exaggerated style here. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He's a classical composer. One of the most famous in Europe. Miguel Cervantes, he was a novelist. This is a Spanish gentleman. Most famous book, Don Quixote, and this is regarded as the first modern European novel ever written. And Eugene Delacroix, a very famous painter, and he's going to be the representation of the transition to the Romantic school of the 19th century. And so you have the very famous painting there of Lady Liberty leading the people during the French Revolution. New technologies are going to arise during this time period. Roads are going to improve, which is going to improve transportation and trade. New designs in farm tools are going to increase productivity. We see some agriculture revival, improvements in ship design is going to lower the cost of transportation, which is going to lead to more trade. The last section that we need to talk about in chapter 21 is the Haitian Revolution. The Haitian Revolution from 1789 to 1804. The French colony of Santo Domingo was one of the richest European colonies that existed. A lot of sugar, cotton, indigo, coffee, but its success was based on one of the most brutal slave regimes in all of the Caribbean. Very, very, very brutal slavery taking place in this area. The political turmoil in France, the French Revolution is what we're referencing there, is going to weaken the ability of the crown, of the colonial government, to maintain order in Haiti. And there's going to be conflict between slaves and whites that are going to arise. Slave rebellion, the most famous slave rebellion, rises under the leadership of Francois Dominique Toussaint L'Ouverture. This is a former slave, and he's going to take over the colony in 1794. So he leads this really big rebellion in Haiti. I did want to mention Vincent Ogee, who was a leader of a free group of blacks in Haiti that was killed by the whites. And so this is going to further fuel the desire for revolution in Haiti for the slaves that are there to want to gain their independence. And so Toussaint L'Ouverture is the one who's accredited with doing that. In 1802, though, Napoleon sent a large military force back to Haiti to reestablish control of the colony. At first, the French soldiers started to have some success, but then there was a string of losses due to yellow fever, and this is going to give the rebels the upper hand. In 1804, Toussaint's successors declared independence, and the Free Republic of Haiti is going to join the United States of America as the second independent nation in the Western Hemisphere. We do need to mention a couple other things here. The Congress of Vienna from 1814 to 1815, this is right after Napoleon's losses, representatives of Britain, Russia, Prussia, and Austria meet in Vienna to create a lasting peace by reestablishing this balance of power and protecting the system of conservatives, these monarchies. So the conservatives are the ones that are wanting to stick to the traditional ways of the monarchies. So in 1792, the borders of France were recognized, although most of its allies received some territorial gains. Austria, Prussia, and Russia formed a holy alliance that's going to be used to keep France in check from growing too much. The Holy Alliance defeated these liberal revolutions. So again, these liberal revolutions are people that want governments based on written constitutions. They want separation of powers. So it's important that you know those two terms. The difference between conservative and liberal doesn't exactly mean the same thing that it does today. So liberals back then are considered the radical ones. These are the crazy people that want democracy, where the conservatives want to stick to the old-fashioned system of monarchies. This is a map of the breakdown of what Europe looked like during the time period. Clemens von Metternich, he was a big proponent of conservatism. King Louis the 18th, he's the brother of the executed King Louis the 16th. He rules France as a constitutional monarchy, and so they do reestablish a monarchy system in France, but it's a constitutional monarchy, and so the absolute monarchy is done away with. There's a lot of revolutions take place in the year 1848. That's because there's a resurgence in this desire for a democratic form of government. And so several European nations are going to have revolutions that are going to overthrow monarchs. In France it worked. And so the revolutions in France it's going to be successful, but the revolutions in Germany, Austria, Italy, and Hungary are going to fail. Let's see here. Napoleon III, the French desire to reestablish authority. So they put Napoleon III, who was Napoleon Bonaparte's nephew, into power. And after 3 years, he is going to declare himself Emperor of France, much like his uncle did. So that kind of wraps up what we were studying in Chapter 21. We will start Chapter 22 in class, so make sure you read the first half of that chapter, and we'll be talking about the Industrial Revolution.